Hello, in this video, we continue to read the book, The Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And in this one, Robert is asking, are savings assets? Are your saving assets? Video number 61, please join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. If you are returning, appreciate you very much. Please always remember to like the video and to leave a comment. Even if you are on a premiere, please leave a comment afterwards. For those of you who are new, welcome. Welcome. My name is Sherifa Nakalema. I'm a business owner here in Virginia, USA. And on here, I'll just show you the schedule. I'm here daily, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, books like these, business tips. And then on Thursday, I drive around. I show you USA. Sometimes I interview someone. Friday, I come live for general audience. Anyone who likes success, I pick a topic, we discuss it, it's fun. Come Friday, and then on Saturday, if you are interested in earning, how to earn money online through affiliate marketing, I dedicated that day to affiliate marketing. Sunday, motivation. So it's a mix. And please, if any of that sounds interesting, and the message of taking our step to a better life, whatever you are, whatever level you are right now, you want to take it to a better level. You want to just be close to people who are positive. Consider subscribing and click on the bell to get notified when I have new videos. Today on new content. Today we are on the book. It's book there, and it's video number 61. For those of you who have been following, I recorded all of them starting from number 1, and the topic is: are savings assets? Are your savings in the bank, are they assets? You know, Robert likes to say stuff like that. Let's see what he says. But before that, I have to remind you why we are even reading this book. Because this book is called The Cashflow Quadrant. That's the title. Because Robert says, I always have to remind you, because of, especially those who are new, that we earn money. Money comes to us through these ways. 4. We call them quadrants. Either you're on the left, and you're earning it through as an employee. E is employee. S, self-employed or small business. On the right, you are a large business. Or I, you are an investor. He wants us to be on the right. Like I could be pointing the camera, I could be doing the opposite. Okay, B and I are the way to go. That's why we're doing this slowly. We are learning the disadvantages of the left and the advantages of the right. So, but in video number, that's the cash flow quadrant, the image. That's what the whole thing is all about, this whole book. But we go slowly. He's explaining. Now, we are on video number 61. Number 60, he was saying, what is your interest rate really? So if you're interested to know, what is your interest rate really? Because they may say 8%, but it's really, what does that really mean? What do you really end up paying? He's touching on it also in today's reading. So to get to the previous videos, I have a pinned comment. I also have an end screen here. It's called, the end screen will show you, I think, financial freedom, something like that is the name of the, when you see the end screen. But in the when you go to the playlist and also in the description, you'll see that I'm talking about, if you want to go to all the videos we started, click here. Audio book on Audible is free for 1 month. The link in the description, and also the physical real book. If you want it, if you can, you are in an area where Amazon ships, you can click to go get the physical book. That one will be, you have to pay. But audio is free for 1 month. Okay, the announcements are over. Now we go to read the book. Savings assets. Let's see what do you think Robert is going to say? Remember, he called savers losers. We covered all that. So the savings assets. Okay, now I'm starting to read. She says, you know, it's a continuation. I break off after I get to a message, then I start again. So today we are reading about savings. What about savings? Remember, he was talking about interest in the previous section. What about savings? Are they assets? And now he's saying, now your savings really as assets. That's the good news. But again, if you read financial statements, you'll understand the total picture. While it's true that your savings are assets, when you look across town at the banker's balance sheet, your savings show up as liability. Now he has just a balance sheet showing that the bank is showing your savings as liability. And this, oh yes, they are liabilities. Now he's saying, why are your savings and checkbook balances a liability to the bank? Because they have to pay you interest for your money, and it costs them money to safeguard your money. So they see you like they see it as a liability. And then he said, so why? It's a title, subtitle. Why you don't get a tax break for saving money? Why you don't get a tax break for saving money? You know, this is more relevant to like here, USA. These points he's talking about, you see them as more relevant when you live in the United States. I don't know about other countries, but let's see. If you notice, you get a tax break for buying a house. See, here they do that. And going into debt, but you don't get a tax break for saving money. Have you ever wondered why? I'm not sure either, but I imagine that one big reason is because your savings are a liability to the banks. Why would they ask the government to pass a law that would encourage you to put even more money in the bank? In their bank. Money that is a liability to them. So they don't want you to put more money in the bank. That's interesting, right? And then they don't need your savings. It's a subheading. Besides, banks really don't need your savings. They don't need matching deposits because they can magnify money at least 10 times. If you put $1 in the bank, by law, the bank can lend out $10. And depending upon the reserve limits imposed by the central bank, possibly much more. That means your single dollar, $1, suddenly becomes 10 or more. It's magic. When my rich dad showed me that, I fell in love with the idea. At that point, I knew that I wanted to own a bank and not go to school to become a banker. On top of that, the bank may pay less than 1% interest on that $1. In better economic times, it could be 5%, and you as a consumer would feel secure because the bank is paying you something on your money. Banks see this as good customer relations because if you have savings with them, you may come in and borrow money too. They want you to do this because they can then change 9%. They can then charge 9% or more on what you borrow. While you may make less than 1% on your $1, the bank can make 9% or more on the $10 of debt your single dollar has generated. That's a little bit complicated. Only if you're a banker, you understand how $1 becomes 10. And did you follow that? Put that in the comment. And then he says, recently, I received a new credit card offer that advertised 8.9% interest. But since I understood the legal jargon in the fine print, I saw it was really 23%. See, that's what he was trying to explain in the previous video about this. Like right now, they're offering him 8.9, but he says in real terms, that's equivalent to 23%. Needless to say, I took a pass. Now here's another subheading. They get your savings anyway, meaning the banks get your savings anyway. The other reason they don't offer a tax break for saving is more obvious. If you can read the numbers and see which way the cash is flowing, you'll notice that they'll get your savings anyway. He has some images showing how money moves, but he already explained it anyway. The money you could be saving in your asset column is flowing instead out of your liability column in the form of interest payment on your mortgage. This ends up in the banker's asset column. I think just think about, he's explaining that because you pay a lot of interest, which is really high, that's what they like. It goes to their side. That's how they make money. By the way, I'm reading the last part. Okay, so that's why they don't need the government to give you a tax incentive to save. They'll get your savings anyway in the form of interest payment on debt. Politicians aren't about to mess with the system because the banks, insurance companies, building industry, brokerage houses, and others contribute a lot of money to their campaign. And the politicians know the name of the game. We're going to talk about the name of the game in the next video. I'll end with 61, I'll end there. But what he ended up there saying, you see, everything is connected. Those politicians and the businesses and the banks, they're all connected. And guess who benefits? Because he's saying, because you could see that the politicians or the banks and the businesses contribute a lot to campaigns. Politicians, you know why? Because they make sure the policies they're discussing, they're putting in place, they benefit them. Do you see? Because they don't want you to save more, and they don't make it as a huge policy or let's save more. But they always want to lend you more. They always want you to buy the big house. Remember we discussed that in the previous video? They want you to buy the bigger house because now the banks benefit because you're paying the mortgage, the interest is high, and then also, more interest, and then the taxes, because later, anyway, I don't want to get into this because I explained it in the previous video. He explained it very well. I don't want to confuse you. But what do you get from this? What we get from this, those banks, all they want is for you to borrow and borrow and borrow more. Not savings. In fact, they prefer that you don't have any savings, because if you have a lot of savings, then you don't need their money. You don't borrow, right? Like if I saved a lot of money and bought my house cash, they don't like that. They want you to borrow and borrow and borrow more. So that's my takeaway. It's not good. It's good we are learning all this. I think the solution is to make a lot of money so we don't need their savings. We don't need to borrow from these banks. 8.9% just became 23% in real terms. He was showing us how it becomes that in the previous video. Again, the links I've put the link to all the videos in the pinned comment, and then in the description and end screen. It's about to come out. I think I'll call it Financial Freedom. The end screen. It takes you to all of them. And then if you want the book, the physical book, Amazon.com, the link is in the description. The physical book. The audio, the physical you have to buy. The audio, you listen for free for 1 month. Links in the description. Please leave a comment. What do you think about this thing that the banks don't want you to say? They just want you to borrow. It's interesting. It's good we are learning all these things. Please leave a comment. Like I always end them. I say, take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of your families. Take very good care of your health. Take a step, a better you. Bye-bye.